Good evening, everyone. It's late here in Japan, and I was just chilling with a cup of coffee and some Oreos. These are mint flavor. They're honestly not bad, but I was looking at some of these DLC rumors for Tekken 7, and I had a lot of fun. I had a couple of ideas, so I thought I'm going to turn on my microphone and we can talk about it. Now, this is a speculative video, but there is some genuine information to talk about here, so hopefully it's interesting enough. I have to say, when I saw Fuckum Rum, I was pretty sure that we had seen the final new character that we ever would for this game. Him and Leroy coming out, being very dramatic designs, being original new designs. It felt like a satisfying conclusion to what has been a crazy amount of support and content for a game that is pretty old at this point. But it doesn't look like the hype train is even slowing down, because recently, of course, we saw this. You've probably heard about it, but what it is a listing for 5 new pieces of DLC for Tekken 7, and this has shown up on Steam, right? So you can see that they are in chronological order. So you have Gonryu, and then Leroy Smith, and then the Frame Data app, and so on. Now, if this was just like one listing, we would probably assume one more character, maybe a new stage, maybe a new UI feature, maybe, you know, Tekken darts, who knows. But because it's 5 of them at the same time, the logical conclusion to draw is that this is actually a leak of Season 4, which is crazy to me. I can't believe that it looks like we're actually going to have Season 4. I didn't even believe it when I saw Season 3. I really did pick the right time and the right game to become a content creator, because not only do I get to play this amazing fun game that just keeps on getting bigger and crazier, now I get to keep on, you know, talking about it and sharing it with you guys, which just amplifies my enjoyment even more. It's really a wild ride. But I don't think that all of these 5 new listings are going to be characters, because the character roster is already really big, and people have been talking about bloating, you know. The screen is just huge at this point. My personal guess would be maybe 2 new characters at total in the season, and then maybe some other stuff that is also fun and matters, but who knows. That's just a hunch that I have. But I do think that the first piece of content that we're going to see, and I think we're going to see it very soon, will be a new character. And the reason I say that is we have this mysterious thing that has shown up on the official website. So there's a spot on the website that has all the characters in the game, and at the very bottom there's this dark character number 50, that we know nothing about. And you click it and it says in English pretty much, we know nothing about this mysterious fighter. And the reason they've done that is so obviously to get people speculating, to start, you know, let the hype simmer, you know, a little bit before they make the reveal. And I'm just gonna take that bait completely here and give you my 2 cents. But I will say, I'm pretty sure about my hunch on who this character is going to be, and I have a really good track record with these predictions. I pretty much get them right every time, so we'll see, but I have a strong feeling I know who's going to be showing up next, and that has me very excited, and that's why I want to talk about it. First of all, I don't think we're going to see a guest character here, and the reason I say that is we had that announcement saying that there would be no more guest characters in Season 3, and we also know that they weren't sure if they were ever going to make Season 4 or more content for the game. And I think if you decide, okay, we're making Season 4, you don't then start this probably very long, you know, legal process of getting rights to a licensed character with intellectual property and all the rest of it. I don't know how that works internally, but I'm guessing it's a much, much longer and more difficult process than just redesigning or updating a character design that you already own. And so that's the reason I don't think there are going to be any guest characters showing up anytime soon. The other thing I'll say is that I don't think it's going to be an original character, because the last 2 characters were Leroy and Fuckum Rum, you know, and making completely new characters for Tekken from scratch is a lot more work as well. So it's probably not something that they want to do every time they're going to reveal a character. So my guess is that we're looking at a Tekken character, not a guest character, and it's probably going to be a legacy character. That I think we can be pretty sure of. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because another thing we know is that this will be a female character. So if you look at this site and you look at the English version, it just says this is a mysterious fighter that we know nothing about, but you can change the language on the website. So what we're looking at here is the Spanish version of the website. And in Spanish it says, no se sabe nada de esta luchadora misteriosa. And that's like verbatim, we know nothing about this mysterious fighter. But in the Romance languages, we have nouns with genders, right? So the word luchadora, which is fighter, it's the female version of that word, indicating that the sentence is talking about a female character. So you could say that maybe that's just a mistake or something specific to this translation, but I messed around and looked at all of the other languages on the site tonight, and if you look at the Italian one, it uses the word lottatrice. Now, my Italian isn't very good, but I'm pretty sure that words that end with trice is a practitioner of some sort of discipline or job who is female. For example, I'm pretty sure that attrice is actress in Italian. If you know Italian, then, you know, chime in on this in the comments. But if they're doing it twice on the site, I think that the translator who did the French and the Italian both got the same information. They probably both know that this is a female character, which is why they wrote it this way. If you look at the silhouette here, the picture, it doesn't really look like necessarily a female character. It just looks like the kind of a boring silhouette of a, I don't know, whatever person who's apparently not wearing shoes. It looks like they're walking in her socks, which is funny. But this image led some people to believe that the new character is going to be Shin Kamiya. So Shin Kamiya, if you don't know, is a character from a shitty animated Tekken movie they made a couple of years back. It's not very good. Can't recommend that you watch it, but he's like a character from that movie. He's experimented on and he has some sort of green jizz on him. I think the problem with this character is that he's basically just a dude who kind of walks around, talks a little bit, doesn't really do anything. And as I remember, excuse me, in the end, when he's supposed to have his big moment and power up with his green jizz, I think it's Heihachi, but it's one of the Mishimas, just grabs him, splits him in half, throws him in the fucking trash, spits on him, probably goes and sleeps with his mother, and that's the end of the character. Like, he doesn't really get a moment where he's anything but kind of pathetic and whiny. He doesn't do anything impressive. He doesn't feel powerful. It's very difficult to build hype around a character like that, especially when the visual feel of the character is just, you know, a whatever kind of guy. So my guess is that this silhouette here, this picture, is just a generic silhouette that they use for all kinds of character reveals, but it's not supposed to be the actual silhouette of the character that they will reveal later. So with all that in mind, what characters do we have left that we could consider to be here? Well, if we know that it's going to be, or we assume that it's going to be, a female character and a legacy character, I can only think of a couple that are still left. Christy, first of all, is a clone of Eddie, and Eddie's already in the game. I don't think you want to face the backlash that you will face if you unveil a new character for the game and it's a clone character. They would have to pretty much invent a new move list for Christy and make her distinct from Eddie for that to make sense. Which just sounds like a strange choice to me. The other big one, of course, is Joan. Now, the thing with Joan is that I think she's going to show up in Tekken 8 and be a major character in that story, because Joan is a very, very important character to the sort of lore of Tekken and the drama with Kazuya and with Jin and everything else. She's so deeply tied into the story, but if you look at these recent DLC characters like, you know, Zafina and Gonryu come out, they're not tied to the story because the story was finished when the game was initially released, you know, with the Mishima Saga. Unless Season 4, and this might happen, but unless Season 4 is going to have some new single-player content that expands on the campaign and the story of the game, then you can't just drop Joan into the game and not explain why she's there, because she's so important. And my guess is, you know, in the next game, it's going to be Kazuya as the villain, you know, Jin and Lars are the good guys, and then she's going to show up maybe as a boss character, or maybe as, you know, the important character that tips the scales in that conflict. But I don't think you squeeze her in as a, you know, a no-story DLC in a game like this. The image here, by the way, it's just concept art that a really cool artist made for the game, and it's good enough that it actually fooled a lot of people when they saw it, me included. You can tell that they've taken elements of Unknown, which is this boss character from the Tekken Tag games, who looks a lot like Joan, and people speculate that she is Joan, or that they have something to do with one another, and sort of done a thing where she's this damaged sort of mix of both of them, which is a really cool concept. Joan was, I think, killed by Ogre in the story of like Tekken 3 or something like that. She hasn't been around for a long time. It's sort of mysterious, but it's just, you know, very easy to bring her back with some sort of explanation. Maybe she's, you know, troubled. Maybe she has an unknown monster thing going on. Who knows? So that brings me to the obvious choice of who I think is the actual character is going to show up in the game, and that's Kunimitsu. So this is another piece of art made by the same artist. I think it's really cool. I'm going to put a link to his Deviant art in the description of this video. Definitely support him. I hope he's cool with me using his art right here. I just think it's amazing. But I made a couple of videos a little over a year ago where I talked about 3 characters that I wanted in the game and that I thought would actually show up in the game. One was on Gondry, one was on Zafina, and one was on Kuni. And Kuni is the only one that I haven't been right about so far. And I think she's just the obvious choice. I'm not going to tell you to go watch that old video because I recorded that with a webcam. It has terrible quality, but I gave some of the reasons why I think she's such an obvious choice. Now, Kunimitsu used to be like a clone character for Yoshi, but in Tag 2 and Tekken Revolution, they redesigned her with a move list completely her own, and they did a really good job. It's very Tekken-y. She has a lot of super cool generic tools, but also a lot of flavor. And I know a common criticism of Yoshimitsu is that he used to be like a really cool ninja, but now he's just kind of a random octopus dude who like trolls and stuff, and people who play him gravitate towards him because of that. But some people wish that he were a little bit more of a serious, like ninja feeling character, and that's completely Kunimitsu. She throws smoke bombs, she breathes fire, jumps through the air. Her Fubuki knee is this lightning fast move that you can theoretically get out at 9 frames for a knockdown Punisher. But the move list that they made for Tekken Tag 2 is so good that I basically think you could take that and change some of the moves she already has, make a couple of them spin moves, turn a couple of them into wall bounce moves and armor moves, and then all you really have to do is come up with a really cool visual look for the character, which is easy because she's like an awesome ninja with a mask. You could do anything with that. I mean, they turned Yoshi into an octopus. They could do basically anything with Kunimitsu. There's already all kinds of cool concept art of her out there being like a wolf and stuff like that. And then you have to come up with an awesome rage art and a rage drive, and you're done. And I think it's going to be super exciting if that's what happens. You know, if you want to reveal a character like Beck, for example, and a lot of people have been waiting for Beck, he also suffers from the same issue a little bit as Shin Kamiya, which is that he's just kind of a dude. But when you have an awesome ninja character who can fly and teleport, you can make a really cool dramatic trailer with a lot of flavor. You can make it look awesome. And I also think it's true, if you look around the internet, that a lot of people have been talking about Kuni. She does seem to be something that people are excited about seeing, and lately I do think the developers of this game worry about that kind of thing. They want to know what people want to see, and I think if you just boil it down, you know, exclusion, you arrive at Kunimitsu. And it was one of my favorite designs in Tekken Tag 2. I think she's super cool, and this is definitely a character that I would play and make tons of content about if she actually came out. So those are my 2 cents, but I probably missed something. You probably have cool ideas of your own, so let me hear about them. But hopefully really quite soon, comments will start showing up on this video saying that I got it right with my prediction. I really hope I did, because Kunimitsu is awesome, and I would love to play her in Tekken 7. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to get back to my coffee here. I'll see you guys again very soon.